Hello friends, welcome to Crusader Academy. This is Rupesh Jadhav. Today I am dealing with a different subject in which generally no competitive exams teaching classes deals with, and those are one of the most difficult subject to understand, that is general science. Okay, and from that general science here I am dealing with this subject biology. Okay, and let me tell you, this subject is very much helpful for the students who are preparing for civil services, for state public service commission in English medium, and also the students who are preparing for various competitive exams like competitive staff selection commission, intelligence bureau, then UPSC CAPF, then Maharashtra forest services or any state forest services, in which the biology is the main content. Okay, so without wasting time, let's start our lecture. So friend, this is our human digestive system. The digestive system of a human being is a series of hollow organs. Okay, it is a series of hollow organs joined in a long twisting tubes from mouth to this anus. So from this oral cavity till anus, this tube-like structure with hollow organs, I have marked it here, is said to be the digestive system. Then inside this tube there is a lining called mucosa. Okay, inside the part there is a lining called mucosa, and in the mouth, stomach and small intestine this mucosa contains tiny glands that produce juices to help the digest food. Now here you can see these are the organs which are the, as said, as hollow organs. So firstly the oral cavity, in other words we say it as a mouth. Okay, then here it comes esophagus, that is, in general term I will say food pipe. Then the food goes to the stomach. Okay, and from stomach it is passed through duodenum, then ileum, then jejunum. These are the part of small intestine, and from here it goes back to the large intestine, and through anus the food, the waste product, not food, the waste product is thrown out of the body. Okay, now let's go through each and every part one by one, but let me tell you, we are just checking out how the food get digested. Okay, so digestion at various stages we are going through that. That is system. When we use the word system, try to remember what is a system exactly, for which word we use the word, which thing we use the word system. So in system you might have heard this statement that computer is a system, mobile is a system, or pressure cooker is a system. Now when you heard about computer as a system, you try to agree, yes, it is okay, it is a system. When we say human body is a system, then what is exactly system? When I am saying that pressure cooker is a system, then the question mark arises, because what is basically, you should know what is that in the system. So its system consists of three stages or three steps. First one is input, then processing, and then output. If there are these three steps, then that thing is said to be in a system. Okay, giving input and getting out output without process, then it is not a system. Okay, there is input and there is processing but no output, again it is not a system. There is processing and output without input, which is not possible, but again it is not a system. Okay, so there should be these three steps. Step number one, there should be input. Step number two, there should be process, and step number three, there should be output. So here we are giving food, okay, which is step number one, that is input. Then it is processed throughout our various organ, and then it is given out as a waste product, that is output. So here I can say food as an input, food as an input, and then waste product as output, and meanwhile here it is done the processing, hence it is said to be a system. Okay, digestive system. So it is a system. Now if we talk about mouth, what happens? Let me tell you frankly, dear friends, whatever we are eating daily, our body doesn't require that thing, body doesn't understand that thing. Okay, actually if we are eating chapati, rice, so it doesn't need chapati. Chapati is a complex form for it. Okay, it's a complex form, and it breaks that complex form, it breaks it, and then it make it into simpler form, and then it is utilized. Okay, so for example, if we are eating chapati, the body doesn't know chapati, so it is broken down to simpler form, that is carbohydrate. Okay, carbohydrate, and then that carbohydrate, again the simple form of this carbohydrate also. Okay, then it is utilized by the body. If you are eating, if you are providing ghee or oil, which is a complex form, body doesn't understand this thing. Okay, break it down and make it into the simpler form, and then it is utilized. Okay, it is broken into the fatty acids. Now let me tell you, these are the blocks which makes it, makes this carbohydrates. Fatty acids makes ghee and oil, or some proteins are made up of from peptides or other things. We will see it afterward, but just I'm trying to, you just try to understand one simple term, that complex form of food which is we providing, it is transmitted or translated into processed and made it in a simple form, and then it is utilized by the body. So this breakdown is done by various means, and we call it as an enzyme. So enzymes helps in breaking down this complex form into simpler forms. Okay, and these enzymes, which are those enzymes? The enzymes are those which secretes the juices, or any type of juice which is secreted. It is a juice type which is secreted, and then it processed with this, mixed with this food and other items, and it simplifies it. Okay, now let's go further. So what happened in this mouth or oral cavity? This is an oral cavity or mouth. Here, when we supply the food first, then that food is chewed and it is broke down. Okay, so the food is broke down into the smaller pieces or smaller particles with the help of teeth. Okay, and with that thing, here, to make it easier, the saliva from the mouth mixes, and this leads to the some process, chemical process. Okay, or I can say simply chemical digestion, and that leads to smaller particles of the food. Okay, this saliva helps in breaking down the foods and chemical digestion faster, at faster rate. Okay, now inside this saliva there is this saliva is we obtain from salivary gland. You might be knowing about this. We obtain this saliva from salivary gland. Okay, so from this salivary gland we get saliva, and inside that saliva there is an enzyme which is said to be salivary amylase. Salivary amylase. Okay, this is an enzyme. If you remember, just few minutes before I told you that what is the role of enzyme. If the complex structure is there, complex food material is there, it is changed into simpler form by means of enzymes. Okay, so salivary amylase is an enzyme, or a ptyalin. Another term used is ptyalin. Okay, so this salivary amylase breaks down. What happened here? Try to understand. It breaks down the starch. It breaks down the starch. here the starch which is supplied from in the food, okay, that is broke down by means of salivary amylase into maltose. Okay, now again, starch is what? Starch is a complex substance which body doesn't understand, body don't know. And what is the simpler one? Maltose. Okay, now again coming back, what is this starch and maltose? You might have heard about saccharides. Saccharides, or you other term, it is said to be carbohydrates. Okay, which is the combination of C, H and O. Okay, carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So it is again divided into three types. Okay, first is disaccharide, then trisaccharide, okay, and then polysaccharide. When the number of carbons is from 3 to 10, it is said to be disaccharide. Okay, we will see what is carbohydrate in another lecture. I will make a separate video for that. When the proportion of C is from 11 to 100, okay, then it is said to be trisaccharide. When it goes above 100, then it is said to be polysaccharide. Okay, you might have heard about glucose, fructose, okay, then maltose, sucrose, okay, and here starch, then or cellulose. You might have heard about this word. Okay, cellulose. Generally a question come, which is that item which produce energy after burning wood or paper? It is cellulose, which is providing the heat or energy. Okay, so this is cellulose. Now this is, again I will like to tell you, keep it in mind, this is complex structure and this is simpler structure. Okay, complex, simple, or little bit complex. This is more complex, this is little bit, and this is the simple one. So if body gets the food item in this structure, in this form, it is definitely first break down to this form with the help of enzyme, and then again to this form, and at last body digest this thing. Okay, in terms of carbohydrates. Similar will be the case in terms of proteins, fats, minerals, vitamins. Okay, so generally it is consumed in a complex form and then it is made simpler, okay, with the help of enzymes. Okay, enzymes do this task. They simplified the complex structure, complex food structure. Okay, now, so this salivary amylase broke down the starch into maltose. So this is trisaccharide and this is disaccharide. Okay, the complex form, and this is simpler form, and salivary amylase is nothing but an enzyme. Okay, the secretion. So again try to understand. Other than this, means here we find first the saliva, okay, then salivary amylase or ptyalin. Then here the bicarbonate ions are also present. Bicarbonate ions, which is inside this saliva. Okay, everything is in the saliva. Okay, so ptyalin is in saliva. Bicarbonate ions in saliva, they acts as a buffer and maintain the pH between 6.5 to 7.5. You might be knowing about this pH scale. You might have studied in school. Okay, so this is 0, this is 7, and this is 14. So less than 7 it is acidic, and from 7 to 14 it is basic, and here at the point of 7 it is neutral. Okay, and another question is that what is exactly pH means? So the pH means power of hydrogen ion. Okay, so again, what is ion? I will explain this in chemistry. So it is maintained between 6.5 to 7.5. Okay, the bicarbonate which is present there. Another thing means from saliva we get ptyalin or salivary amylase. Okay, salivary amylase, which what it do, it broke down the complex form into simple form. Okay, then second one is the bicarbonate, and third which is present here in the mouth, that is mucus. Okay, mucus, or proper term is MECOUS, mucus or mucins. It lubricates and help hold chewed food together in a clump. Okay, so it chewed here. So everything here, the gland which is present here, salivary gland, that provides everything, the ptyalin, salivary amylase, bicarbonate ions, and the mucus which is present. Where is mucus present now? Mucus present is in our nasal passage here. Okay, the secretion in our nose, then in the mouth and this esophagus. Okay, it helps to lessen the friction between the food and the pipe, and again it is present inside the lining of the stomach, inside wall, inside lining of the stomach. Here the mucus is present. So this mucus lubricates and help hold chewed food together, and that is said, means food plus mucus. Okay, whatever we get, it is said to be bolus. Okay, bolus. So this was about the oral cavity. Now what happened in oral cavity, we have seen that. Another lecture will be on the topic tongue. Okay, don't miss this topic, tongue, what happens in topic the tongue, and I will make separate video on every part, what happens in tongue, what happens in esophagus, stomach, intestine, large intestine, liver, pancreas, everything. Okay, so I tried to explain this complicated topic in a simpler way. Okay, this complex topic in a simpler way. Okay, consider me as an enzyme to understand this topic. Okay, so I will make everything simple in case of biology also, in physics also, in chemistry also. Those students who have who are from art section, they don't have to worry about this subject. Okay, so uh, please like my video, put comment in comment box, share this video to your friends who are preparing for various competitive exams including civil services, banking and all, where biology is there, for forest related services, National Defense Academy, Combined Defense Service. Also the students who are preparing for medical exam, they can also go through this video. It will be very much helpful for them also. And please subscribe my channel Crusader D Guardian. Thank you very much.